Call the regular monthly meeting of the Rockwood City Council to order. This time I'd ask that we stand for prayer by Mr. Ishman and remain standing to pledge the flag. Mr. Ishman.
Dear Lord, we thank you for this evening, where we can meet together. We thank you for this opportunity to live in this country where we're free to elect people to serve in the council and that they can decide the future for our city. We ask you to be with the council members tonight as they make these decisions. We thank you, Lord, that you protect us and keep us safe. And we ask you, Lord, to be with us through this holiday season. That if the ones that travel are safe, that will bring us all back together. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
call the roll.
Councilman Anderson.
Here.
Councilman Bryant.
Here.
Councilwoman Evans. Here. Councilman Fuller.
Here.
Councilman Holloway.
Here.
Councilwoman Wilson. Here. Mayor Miller.
Here. All present. We do have a quorum. You received the minutes from the October 25th, 2021 meeting. What's the will of the council? Got a motion that be approved by Councilman Holloway. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Evans. Councilman Holloway. Councilwoman Evans. Anyone? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the ayes have it. Next item is presentation and approval of financials, October 2021 financial reports and bank info. What's the will of the council?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Fuller. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Wilson. Councilman Fuller.
Now I'll just turn it over to Miss Ruby.
Ms. Ruby.
Yes, sir. You should have a copy of all the bank statement information in your packet. A synopsis of all those bank statements are in the general fund, October 31st, 2021, $827,984.71. Reserve and emergency, $247,501.95. Payroll account, $873.18. The drug fund, $64,584.67. State Street Aid, $233,895.29. The small drug fund has $807.54. Capital Projects has 5 cents. We just left that in there to keep that account open. Total of all the accounts is $1,375,647.39. You also have a copy of all the bank statements. And you have a copy of the summary financials ending October 31st. Everyone is within their budget where they should be. We've already, at the end of October, and I know it's pretty much increased by a lot in the month of November, but our property taxes at the end of October was $261,000, which is a good start. Our expenditures are where they need to be, and you have a copy of all the checks that were written in the month of October. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer.
Anything further, Councilman Fuller?
No, sir.
Councilwoman Wilson?
No, sir.
Anyone? Call roll.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes.
Councilman Bryant?
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans? Sorry. Are you sure? Councilwoman Evans?
Yes.
Councilman Fuller?
Yes.
Councilman Holloway?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes, and the ayes have it. Next item is special recognition. Tonight, with great pleasure, Councilwoman Wilson has started a program that I think is great called the Junior City Council. And tonight she asked them to come, and they got a packet. And I think this is a really good thing, and I'm going to let her introduce these people these kids have all volunteered to do it. So that's even better. And so I'm going to turn it over to Councilwoman Wilson.
When I call y'all's name, if you just want to stand up. Leah Lee. Abby Worth.
Hold on just a second. Now that's the mayor there.
Yes.
That's the mayor.
Abby Worth.
We took a picture.
Future mayor.
Abby come and he sat right here in this chair and wouldn't get up.
Can they tell us what grade they're in?
Yes.
I'm
Leah.
a junior. I'm a senior.
Okay. Bella Jolly,
I'm a senior.
Aiden Langford,
I'm a senior.
Lamaya Cahias,
I'm a freshman.
and Grace O'Connor.
I'm a freshman.
And then their teacher sponsor is Coach Gambrell. Thank you guys.
Well, Councilwoman Wilson, I want to thank you for getting us started. Coach, I want to thank you, but you all is the ones I really want to thank. Thank y'all for having the grit to get involved in this, and we do appreciate you, and we want you to stay involved and get your classmates involved, because this is really important. So, again, thank y'all. Next item is an airport update. I wanted to give you a little update of where we are on the airport, where we started, and what I feel like it's become. Get down here where I see council. If y'all want to turn around in your chairs, it's here on this, where you can see it on the screen. Rockwood Airport's been owned by the city since 1962. For about the whole time, the last 60 years, it's been privately ran, and the revenue was mostly captured by the people that ran it. The most recent, what they call FBO, that's the person that runs the airport. The agreement was with the city from January 2003 to October 2019. He made a decision to retire, and then we had some decisions as a council and an airport board to make some decisions. We had to make decisions about aviation services, fuel, parking, and hangar space. And I want to say now, before we go any further, when we had these meetings and stuff, I was really, I wanted to get rid of the airport. I'll just be honest with you. And boy, was I wrong. This committee that I happen to be serving on, they all had the right idea, and I was dead wrong. And they made me understand, and it's really turned out well. In September, October 2019, the guy that was running it, he retired. So we had to get a group together pretty quick to put it together and find out what was the best way to run it for the city financially. Like I said, we had tons of meetings, and there was a lot of discussion between a lot of people. Aeronautics board, airport committee, engineering, city employees, other interested parties. The number one priority was to make sure we were selling quality fuel that we understood that was our liability, and all the necessary, and met all the necessary requirements from FAA. And the other thing was to get our hangar rental where it needed to be. And going back to the fuel thing, you'll see there, we got with Titan and we got branded, which made it really, really good. You'll see there that they provide $5 million in additional liability insurance. They had a lot of training for our people. They went and did it. It's going to make a big difference. You'll see there that the state provided grants to make these corrections at a cost of around $90,000. We had, when this company came in and inspected our stuff, we had some real problems. So they showed us what needed to be done, and we rehabbed the whole entire fuel farm. And then we were able to get the Jet A tank steam cleaned and modified. It was about a $15,000 cost. So all these repairs were long overdue. And you'll see some pictures of some things they found that were deficient, and they helped us get back on track. The original self-service fueling system was so out of date, the bank wouldn't allow us to create an account using credit cards. So we had to do we had to have somebody there for people to get gas at that time, or fuel. So many times the airport staff would have to go out at 10 o'clock at night or 2 o'clock in the morning and get fuel for people. But once the fuel farm was gotten up to code and we got the self-service operating, it's been a lot better than we ever anticipated. And by doing these things and going out at night and waiting on these people, the Tennessee Highway Patrol has started using us again where they had quit using us, and now they're using us again, and there's some other people that are doing the same thing. We're getting TVAs coming in using us, jets, and occasionally we have the military come in. As you'll see down there, we had help from former Councilman Jolly. We hot fueled flights and Blackhawks several nights, and so it's made a big difference. When the city took over the airport on November 1st in 19, our T hangars were 75% leased, and the 2 large box hangars were completely vacant. By the end of the year, the T hangars were fully leased, and the main hangar had 1 aircraft stored part-time. Every inch of hangar space that can be rented temporarily or in a lease has been used. So by June 2020, in the midst of the pandemic, we leased the 60 by 60 hangar to Meadowlark Aviation. And they do sale and maintenance of aircraft, fully leased the main hangar space, and for the first time in years began flight instructions. So that was another big thing. And then you'll see some of the things that we upgraded that you'll see there that we got a rental car service that now we've got an agreement with that comes in if someone needs a rental car, and we do run into that sometimes. You see the painting upgrades, Boy Scouts built a new sidewalk. You see over to the right a tenant put in a gate at his own expense because they like the atmosphere up there so well, and that way they can go in that way. So, and you'll see the vending machines. But there's a lot of, I could read all this stuff to you. There's a lot of things that they've done that we all need to know about, but I don't want to take your time and read all of it, but I'll just give you some points. For example, the lights we've got out there on the runways, and the taxiways, they're about $20 a piece. They got about a 2,000 hour life. When we took it over, they were going sundown to sun up every day. So our employees modified that system to where a plane can turn it on from the air. And they're just on 15-minute intervals when a pilot needs them. So not only is that going to save us on the electric bill, on top of that it's going to save us on replacing those lights. So that's just a few things that they've done. You'll see up there, negotiated with Medtrans to direct bill them for all their fuel purposes. That way we bypass the credit card thing and we don't have all those fees. So again, one other thing I do want to mention, in the T hangars, they fixed it in the electricity there where those people could use it for battery chargers and stuff. They couldn't at that time. So that's another advantage that we've done. You'll see on there we've got, we're updating the airport layout plan, which is critical to obtain federal and state funding. The second one there, they Flight Aware, that tracks all the people that come in and out of that airport. That way we have the numbers, and again, that's another thing that's very critical when you're trying to get state and federal funding for projects. So this is some things that they've done. You all know that we're replacing the septic system now with a true sewer plant, so that's going to make a tremendous difference. So that's, I don't want to go through all those, but those are some of the things that we've been able to do. The airport was lacking in the required number of fire extinguishers, and many of the existing ones had not been serviced in years, so we got all those up to date and replaced. So the next big project will be a taxi lane to be built, enabling the city to go to do ground leases for the construction of privately owned hangars. So that'll be another big thing, and you'll see negotiations are underway with Medtrans for a permanent hangar base for their Lifestar 2. The budget for the 1920 fiscal year did not anticipate the change over the airport back to the city. Even with the issues and problems that needed to be corrected, reduced fuel sales due to not having self-service available, and the purchase equipment from the FBO, the airport still finished the year bringing in $96,745.24. And I wanted to tell you, for the first time since 1962, our airport is self-sufficient. Now think about that. The first time since 1962 that it's not costing the taxpayers of the city of Rockwood. And we look for it to even get bigger over the next few years. You'll see on the next screen there, the revenue in the green there, that's the revenue that we've brought in those years. Look down to look at 2018-19, $44,113.42. 2019-20, $96,745. 2021, over $213,000. And I want to be fair about it now. On the 213, $30,000 of that is the CARES Act money we got from the pandemic. So we're around $170,000, let's say. So, and already this year we're already at $88,000. But the big one out to the right, that's the net losses or gains. And you all can see the losses that we took during those years. And now look at last year. First year, $14,683 we set aside. All monies that you make above your expenses, after your revenues and your expenses, that has to be put in a fund strictly for just the airport. So we were able to set aside $14,683 in the 2021 budget. And now the new budget, I'll guarantee you we'll be able to set aside a lot more than that. So I just want to say I was wrong. These other people were right. And it's going to be a great thing for our community. And I'm glad that the people that have put the time and effort in to make this happen, it's really a big plus for the citizens of Rockwood, especially the taxpayers. And there's no telling what's going to happen now with the development that's going out near the airport, because those people will be flying in a lot of jets and stuff. Those are some grants that we just finished and some that are upcoming. So I just wanted to give you a little update on the airport, because I just want to say how proud I am of David and Duke for the work they've done out there, and that committee for what you all have done. You all have took some gambles and made it pay off for our city, and a debt of gratitude needs to go out to all of you, because y'all have done a tremendous job, and I do appreciate it. I just wanted to give you that little update, because we've been talking about it some, how it was doing, and I'm just proud of the job they've done, the people that work out there, and I just think it's a good thing for our city. And there's some more information in here. I know that was quick, but there's some more information in here. If you need any of it, just ask Becky. She can get you a copy of it. Okay, moving on to any questions or comments. Okay, moving on to committee reports from council. Do we have any tonight? Councilwoman Wilson.
Sorry.
No problem.
For Parks and Rec, we had the trunk or treat downtown. It went well. I think we probably had 1,500. Miss May had to go mid trunk or treat and go restock, because the kids just kept coming. So it went really well, and all the city workers that helped, the police officers and the streets crew, they really helped us a lot. So I appreciate that.
Good, thank you. Anyone else? No old business now. Moving on to new business ordinance 18. I'm sorry. I sure did. Public comments. Anybody like to address the mayor and council? I got excited about the airport, and I got carried away. So all we ask is that you stand up and state your name and address, and this will be the last time you'll be able to address the council unless a council member yields the floor to you. Anyone? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Kate Harris, and I live at 121 Bradshaw Hollow Road, and I'm here for Rockwood 2000. I am one of the co-presidents, and I just wanted to talk about 2 events we've got upcoming. Number 1 is the Christmas tree lighting festivities on December the 4th from 5 until 8. And we're going to have, I'm just going to give you some of the highlights. Tree lighting.
I'm sorry. I've got it. Is it December 3rd or 4th?
I thought my email said the 3rd.
Okay, I'm
Okay.
so sorry.
That's okay.
That's okay.
That's okay.
I'm pretty darn
She just messed up
I'm
again. We're
pretty
used
darn
to us,
sure.
they did that all the
She
time.
never messes up.
So it's on Saturday, not Friday?
Saturday, yes
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, we're having the tree lighting, we're having local musical talent, we're having Santa, and you can get your picture taken with Santa and take it home with you, hot cocoa, and a Christmas outdoor movie. So we're very excited about that, and I wanted to invite all the city council members are invited to share a few words of Christmas wisdom. If you would like to be on the program, we would love to have you on the program and have you share anything you'd like. That would be lovely. And then the second event is December the 18th at noon, high noon, and that is at Oak Grove Cemetery, which is on the National Registry, and that is the day for the Wreaths Across America, the ceremony and the laying of the wreaths. And we are going to be participating as we did last year. Our first year was last year with the cemeteries across the nation on the National Registry to honor fallen veterans. And we are believing that we will be at 200 wreaths this year. And these were sponsored all by local people, and it's a wonderful event, and we would like to invite everyone to it, especially our city council and our mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Green.
Mayor, I would like to invite the city council members here to come to the annual Rockwood Rotary Club sponsors the annual football awards for the high school football team. It's going to be on Thursday, January 13th at 6 o'clock in First Baptist Church Family Life Center. Tickets will be available next week. And we got an outstanding speaker in Harold Taylor, a former Rockwood player, who agreed to come and speak at the banquet on the 13th of January.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Thank y'all for coming. We appreciate it. Moving on to new business, ordinance 12-81, an ordinance concerning panhandling, first reading. What's the will of the council? Making a motion.
Can I make a motion?
Got a motion by Councilwoman Evans. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Bryant. Councilwoman Evans.
I think it's just long overdue. We've needed this type of an ordinance for a long time, and I've spent weeks and weeks on it. And then Mr. Lefty and Ms. Wilson, we got together and drew up the ordinance, and I think that it's one that we definitely need. With the next 2 ordinances, or actually there's 3 that we need to pass tonight. And this takes care of panhandling, the people that we have that's on our street corners or on public or private property that should not be there. So, yes, this is a great ordinance.
Anything further, Councilwoman Evans? Councilman Bryant.
I echo that. That's reasonable. You need to do it.
I'm sorry?
Yes, I said I echo that, and we
Okay.
need to do it.
Anything further?
Mayor, I'd like to make an amendment to that ordinance, leave off, and everything in there has it written, except for where it's, section 4 penalty, taking that $50 out, penalty. The reason why, a lot of people that are in that area, they don't have money, I don't have, we're gonna get $50 out of it, to go to court. Keep trying to go to court, trying to get more and more out of them, $50, another $50. So I'd just like to amend that, take that $50 out of it and take the rest of the thing.
Okay, we got an amendment to the original motion, section 4, where it says any person found violating any provision of this ordinance shall be punishable by a penalty up to $50 for each violation. You're wanting to change that to 0, correct?
Correct.
Do we have a second to the amendment?
May I make a,
We have a second to the amendment.
I second.
Councilman Fuller seconded it. Hold on just a second. We got an amendment to the original motion by Councilman Holloway, seconded by Councilman Fuller. Councilman Holloway, do you have anything else you want to say? Councilman Fuller.
Yes, I agree with Councilman Holloway. I think it's a great ordinance. It's defined what we need to have done. It's just, I think, the people that are involved in this situation, that they're homeless, or mentally ill, or fighting drugs, we're just piling on with the fine. So, that's what I say.
Anything further?
No.
Anyone else?
the
Councilwoman
only
Evans.
thing I was, this $50 fine, that's not much. It is for some people, and it will be for them, but it's a deterrent. If they know that they're facing that, that might stop. If you're not going to do anything to them, and there's no consequence for what they do, then they'll keep doing it. And so that's why I think that it's necessary that we have that in there.
Okay, we got any further discussion on the amendment? Okay, now we're voting on only the amendment. Okay? Call a roll.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans,
No.
Councilman Bright,
Yes.
Councilman Fuller,
Yes.
Councilman Holloway,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson,
Yes.
Mayor Miller.
Yes, the ayes have it. Now we're going back to the original motion. Is there any further discussion on it? It'll be the original motion as amended. Any further discussion? Call roll.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilman Bright,
Let me be clear on this. Are we,
Time out. Time out. Hold on just a second. All right, we're going to go back. The original motion as amended. So what it is the motion, it's the agreement that they made in the committee, recommended to us. Now it's been amended. The only change in it is that at section 4, the penalty went from $50 to 0. Everything else is the same. The only thing is the amendment.
So you're still going to take the
Excuse me,
50 off?
Mr. Sure. Do you have any further questions?
I just wanted to be clear that that's what we're doing, is taking out the $50, and just making it 0.
And that's all. Everything else in here is the same. Is that an amendment, because the amendment passed. Councilwoman Evans.
Yes, so you're saying we're going to take the 50 off. Okay, if they are caught, then what is the penalty for that?
All I know is you made the motion on this.
Exactly, and that was why that the $50 was on
I
there.
understand
So
that.
that there was a deterrent from them doing it again. If there's no penalty, there's no reason to have an ordinance.
Okay, well, the motion passed, the amendment passed, so that we have to go back to the original motion.
Okay.
Is any further discussion on the, remember, it's the motion as amended.
It's amended.
Any further discussion? Call roll.
So I'm going to start over, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans,
Okay.
okay. how come I got out of order there? Councilman Bryant,
Pass.
Councilman Fuller,
Yes.
Councilman Holloway,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson,
Yes.
Mayor Miller.
Yes, the ayes have it. Motion passes as amended. Ordinance 1282, an ordinance establishing rules for Rockwood Municipal Park, Homecoming Park, first reading. What's the will of the council?
So moved.
Got a motion by Councilman Wilson, Councilwoman Wilson. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Evans. Councilwoman Wilson.
I think that Mr. Lefew did a good job with the ordinance and put in there what we talked about during our meeting. You know, it'll keep a lot of the mischief down, hopefully, that's happening in the homecoming park.
Councilwoman Evans.
Oh, I think this is something that we went over probably the last meeting. And since we have enacted a lot of the same rules and regulations that we're having in here, it has improved 100%. And not only at the library, but at the park. We don't have them hanging around, we don't have trash all over the place, so it's a good thing.
Anything further?
Mayor,
Yes.
I'd like to make an amendment to that one also, the same area where it says section 4, penalty. I think a $50 penalty, I'll leave everything else the same.
Okay, we got an amendment to the original motion. Just go to section 4, and where it says $50, change that to 0. Is that correct? Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Fuller. Councilman Holloway, you have anything else? Councilman Fuller.
I agree with Miss Councilwoman Evans. It has improved there over the last month or so at the city park there across Front Street. So, but still, if it's getting better, I don't think we should stop it.
Okay. Any further discussion on the amendment?
Same thing applies. If you take away the penalty, what's the point? If they know they can do anything, trash the place, whatever, and no penalty for it, they're gonna be back doing it again. Now, I don't know whether I showed you the pictures that I took down there? Okay, on the stage, that Miss Harris has to fool with a lot. There were probably before the city guys actually cleaned it up. And they're down there every day at that time, cleaning it up. And you go back, hundreds of cigarettes all over the place. Trash, bottles, food wrappers. They even use the bathroom behind the stage. Now, if there's not a penalty for that, and you tell me you want the city workers to have to clean this up, there's no penalty. A child can do something, but if there's no penalty, he'll do it again. So I think that to take out a penalty when they're doing something they know is wrong, then you're giving them the right of way to go do it again. And I don't think we need that.
Anything further, Councilwoman Evans?
No.
Anyone else? Okay, now we're voting on the amendment, not the original motion, we're voting on amendment. One thing I need to bring to your attention to remember, this is first reading. This will have to be dealt with again next month, so if you want to make changes, you'll have that opportunity next month too. So this is not the end of it. Okay, the amendment, we're voting on the amendment, and it's under section 4 penalty, removing the $50 and making it 0. Any further discussion on the amendment? Call roll.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilman Bryant,
Pass.
Councilwoman Evans,
No.
Councilman Fuller,
Yes.
Councilman Holloway,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson,
Yes.
Mayor Miller.
Yes. The ayes have it. Going back to the original motion, is there any further discussion? Be the original motion as amended.
Mayor, I do have one question. I'd like to clarify something. Under prohibited conduct, it says no person shall do any of the following in the park. And under section B, it says enter or leave park except through established entrances or exits within the established time periods. Okay, is that saying if anybody gets off in the grass and walks out, that's a violation? Because I've seen us down there for city picnic several times, people have to walk out of there, that don't. You're saying nobody can leave or come but other than the sidewalks going in and out. Is that correct, Greg?
I think your interpretation would be correct, yes.
So, I think we'd need an amendment to that, because like I say, when we've been down there for the city functions, you know, people's out in the grass and everywhere else.
Anything further?
I agree with you on that. I think that should be taken in.
Okay, I think that's a good point. Can we address that at next? Get the wording, get with Greg and get the wording that we need, and we can amend it on second and final reading. Is that okay with everybody?
Yes.
Okay.
That's cool.
All right, we're going back to the motion as amended. Is there any further discussion? Call roll.
Councilman Anderson.
Yes.
Councilman Bryant.
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans. Councilman Ford.
Yes.
Councilman Holloway.
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson.
Yes.
Mayor Miller.
Yes, and the ayes have it. Ordinance 1283, an ordinance concerning the use of electricity from electric outlet without the consent of the account holder responsible for paying the electric bill associated with electrical outlet. First reading. What's the will of the council? What's the will of the council?
Mayor, I'd like to make an amendment to that.
Well, let's get a motion on the floor first.
I make a motion that we accept.
Okay, we got a motion by Councilwoman Evans. Do we have a second? Second by Councilman Bryant. Councilwoman Evans, do you have anything on this one?
You know, I think this is one of the main points that we have been using. Most of the people, we had electric outlets at the park. They sat over there for hours, smoking, drinking, trashing the place, charging their phones. Sudden way, Dollar General, going through there, they trash, sitting there for hours, charging their phone. IGA, all the businesses owners that I've talked to said basically there was no law that said they couldn't. They could tell them to leave, but if they don't, what do they do? This gives them permission to call the police if, and at any time, someone is sitting there charging their phone without permission from the business owner. And it can be public or private property. And I think this, since we did it at the park, we've had no problem with it. Park has remained fairly clean. Same thing with the library. There was an outlet outside. Once we turned that off, they stopped going over there. Margaret every morning had to go in, pick up their trash. And since we cut the electricity off, she doesn't have to do that anymore. So this is not only good for public places, but for businesses also. So yes.
Councilman Bryant, do you have anything further?
Is this just saying that we're gonna keep the electricity off, we're gonna put something over to cover, to lock it down? Is that fair to say? Is that what we're doing?
Well, that's part of it, but it's setting out a thing there. If we catch someone, just say at the park, the example she used, and they broke it off and they're using it, then it is a violation.
That's it, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything further? Councilman Holloway.
I'd like to amend that one also on section 3 penalty. And for the same reason, these people that is doing that, they don't have $50, we're gonna tie up people in court. I'll collect that $50, next month will be back down there. The wording and everything is still the same, just like to see a $50 on that one also.
Got an amendment to the original motion by Councilman Holloway that we change under section 3 on this one, the penalty from 50 to 0. Do we have a second?
I'll
Do we-
second it.
Second by Councilwoman Wilson. Councilman Holloway, do you have anything further?
No, sir.
Councilwoman Wilson.
I agree with what Councilman Holloway said. If, these people ain't got enough money to pay the $50 fine, and if they're breaking something off of the electrical outlet, I mean, they're in the wrong anyways. That's destruction of property if they're caught, so, but I agree. We'll take the 50 off.
Any further discussion? I do, is there anybody? I'm sorry.
All I want to
Councilman
say,
Bryant, go ahead.
yes, all I want to say about that is that if they've been caught tearing it off, they will be held accountable, of course.
Sure.
But, I can understand that a lot of them don't have $50. I know that. And that's why they're trying to plug in somewhere to get charged up because they don't have the money or electricity or whatever to do it. But as long as they're held accountable, and they're charged with destruction of city property, county, whatever, that we do that.
Okay. Anything further?
You know,
Councilwoman Evans.
if that's my electric outlet, and you're using it, and I did not give you permission to use it, you're stealing. Somebody's paying, and it may not be much, granted, but the fact remains that it is still stealing. You're using electricity that someone else is paying for. And I do not think that if you're not, they're not going to be penalized for anything, what's the point? Why even have a law against it? And I may be 100% wrong, but I don't think so. I've seen it too much. And the only way we can clean up this town and get it to a place where that it is clean, it's great to be here, then we're going to have to change some stuff. And with this one, they're stealing. It doesn't matter if it's a marble or whatever it is. It doesn't belong to you, and you take it, you're stealing. And you take the punishment away from it, then what's the point? Let them charge anything they want to. It's the same thing. You can't do anything.
Anything further?
No.
Okay. I'd like to address one thing on this one. First thing I want to address, and Chief, you correct me if I'm wrong. If the Dollar General store or any of our businesses ask someone to leave and they won't leave, they can call the law and you can make them leave, correct?
Yes.
That's what I thought. And if they're using the electrical outlet at the Dollar General store or anywhere, and the people that manage that tell them to stop and they don't, they call the police, then you can make them leave or arrest them, correct?
Yes.
That's what I thought. So I want to make sure on that. I'm not going to vote for the amendment on this because I feel like this is electricity that somebody's paying for.
There you go.
And if they're going to do this, then they're stealing. I felt different about the other two, but on this one, I feel like they're stealing electricity and they know it's not, especially if it's marked and they say, hey, we're not using it. I understand it out of some people that are not as fortunate as other. It's going to be hard to get to $50, but in my opinion, it is stealing. So I'm not going to vote for this amendment. Councilman Fuller.
Well, the way I see it is that, we shut off we're more, in my opinion, dealing with city properties, in a sense. So we've corrected that, for the honest electric we use. In my opinion, it's still up to the owners to do what they need to do to eliminate that problem. And if they don't, and they're still coming over and recharging, and they've been asked to leave, and they don't leave, then they have violated the law. So all I'm saying is, the city property is, because it is public property.
Yes.
And that's,
You're correct. This ordinance it will rely on city property, city-owned property. Hold on a minute. Anything else,
No.
Councilman Fuller? Councilman Holloway?
Call for question.
Is everyone else you?
I'd like to have input on this one.
Okay, hold on just a second. We got to call for the question. So we have to vote on call for the question. It takes 2/3 majority to cut off discussion. So we have to vote on call for the question. Would you please call the roll? If you vote yes, you mean you want discussion to stop. If you vote no, you want to continue on with the discussion. Could you please call the roll?
Councilman Anderson,
no.
Councilman Bryant,
No.
said no.
No.
Councilwoman Evans,
No.
Councilman Ford,
No.
Councilman Holloway,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson,
No.
Mayor Miller.
No. Motion fails. Councilman Anderson, you were next, I think.
Yes, sir. I know the chief's answers, because that's what we do in law enforcement. Why are we even doing this ordinance? Because if they're violating the law, then they're gonna go state charges and not have to worry about a $50 fine from the city. They'll be having to deal through the court system, they go to jail for theft. So why are we even doing this?
I think we're doing this, Councilman Anderson, for our public property, like the library.
Well, if we shut all that off, then
Right, but hopefully they won't break it off or anything, but, you know, we could, I think that's, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Lefevre, this is basically to help us with our public property, correct?
Well, the way it's written, it includes public property and private property that's open to the public.
Oh, okay. Right.
I think you'd be better off going the state route and charging them through the state and then taking them to jail for violating law, and you won't have to worry about a $50 fine because you're not gonna get it from them anyway. At least with this, you get jail time out of it, and they would get something then.
Well, let's say,
Thank you, excuse me, Councilman. Anything else,
can I
Councilman?
ask him a question?
Hold on just a second. Anything else, Councilman Anderson? Councilwoman Evans, go ahead.
Okay, say that we take the fine off them, and they pick them up, take them to jail. Is that for both private and public property?
Well, as long as the owners of the property call in and complain about it, they would have to call in and make the complaint.
Oh, I'm sure they will, because the ones that I've talked to, yes, they're real excited about this. If they are fined $50 and they don't pay it, will they go to jail eventually anyway?
Not for a $50 civil fine, no.
So in other words, if we take out the amount of monies that there's a fine there, and we don't use that as a basis, then when they arrest them, they just automatically take them to jail, right?
Well, under city ordinances, you cannot arrest. All you can do is impose a fine of up to $50. Now, they can be arrested for violating a state criminal statute, but not for violating a city ordinance.
Okay, any further discussion? We're on the amendment. The amendment is to take the $50 off, correct?
And then they go to jail. Is that what you're saying?
No, not necessarily. So we're going back to the amendment. You take the $50 off, call the roll. This is the amendment.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilman Bryant,
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans,
No.
Councilman Ford,
Yes.
Councilman Holloway,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson,
Yes.
Mayor Miller.
No. Ayes have it, I think. Yes, ayes have it.
Just me and you either don't have any sense or
I mean, my wife tells me that on a regular basis, I don't have any sense. So now we're going back to the original motion as amended. Any further discussion? Call the roll.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilman Bryant.
Yes.
He said yes.
Councilwoman Evans.
No.
Councilman Fuller.
Yes.
Councilman Holloway.
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson.
Yes.
Mayor Miller.
No. The ayes have it. Next item is discover and possibly take action on unspent COVID funds. What's the will of the council? Do I have a motion?
Make a motion that.
Councilwoman Evans.
Oh, God. I don't know if we want to put this or not. Anyway, this is something that I've asked to be put into this so we can discuss it. This is the leftover money from the COVID. And during this whole time, our police officers, our firemen, men and women, and our street department they were on 24/7. And I asked that this money that we had left over from that be given to those individuals who were on 24/7. Police officers, street department, fire department, that this be used to give them a bonus.
Okay, we got that in the form of a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Bryant. Councilman Evans, Councilwoman Evans, do you have anything further?
No, that's it.
Councilman Bryant.
But I would like to iterate that all the money be distributed amongst all of our employees, city employees.
Okay, so are you wanting to amend, the original motion?
Yes,
Okay, and what is your amendment?
to distribute the monies individually with each employee.
So there's
for the city.
53 full-time employees, so
Yes.
you're saying, you're amending the original motion that we give each of our 53 full-time employees, I think, if you figure it, they could get $200 apiece, and they'd leave about $60-something over.
Fine.
Is that your
Yes,
amendment?
that is
Okay,
correct.
we got an amendment to the original motion that we split it between all 53 full-time employees. Is that the correct number?
But we didn't have a second on the original.
Yes, we did.
He made a second.
Councilman
You
Bryant.
made it before you
Yes.
amended it. Okay, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
I made
It's
the
okay.
second.
So you're wanting to amend it
Yes,
to include all 53 full-time employees.
yes, sir.
All right, do we have a second to the amendment?
Second.
Councilwoman Wilson. Sponsored by Councilman Holloway. Sponsored by, okay. So the amendment is that we give each of the 53 full-time employees a $200 bonus, correct?
Correct, yes.
Any further discussion?
No, sir.
Councilwoman Wilson.
I think that I agree that the police, the street department, and the firefighters all worked, but I know that my son and I play golf. They were there the whole time during COVID, and so was the airport. I think they all jumped in and they all worked. So I think that they all should get the bonus.
Yes. Agreed.
Councilman Fuller.
I agree. I mean, that's why our city works so good. We're a good team.
Amen.
Councilman, anyone else? I'd like to say that I think this is a good move. All our people deserve it. I do want to say, when COVID hit last time,
Yes.
we didn't include a bonus in our budget because we had no idea what COVID was going to bring to our revenues and things. Once we saw that the revenue was going to be okay, we gave a $1,000 bonus when nobody else did. So I do want people to think we're not just giving a $200 bonus now.
No.
We gave a $1,000 bonus, if you'll remember, back then, right after we saw that we were okay revenue-wise, and we promised the employees we would. Anything further? We're voting on the amendment. The amendment is to give all 53 full-time employees a $200 bonus. Correct?
Correct.
Anything further? Call the roll on the amendment.
Councilman Anderson.
Yes.
Councilman Bryant.
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans.
Yes.
Councilman Fuller,
Yes.
Councilman Holloway,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson,
Yes.
Mayor Miller.
Yes, and the ayes have it. We'll go back to the original motion as amended. And the motion as amended is that we give all 53 full-time employees a $200 bonus. Any further discussion? Call a roll.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilman Bryant,
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans, Councilman Fuller,
Yes.
Councilman Holloway,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson,
Yes.
Mayor Miller.
Yes, and the ayes have it. Moving on to other business, approval of lighting quote. I wanted to bring to y'all's attention some people that have businesses up near the Walmart in that shopping center. Some of those lights, or a lot of those lights, I think there's around 15 of them, are very, very old and they're going out. We thought that the people that owned the property up there were over those lights. So we didn't include them during the train when we did all the street lights. We did not include those. When we looked into it further, got all the documents out from when Walmart came and stuff, we promised to take care of that area. So we need to get those lights fixed. So what I did, I asked Becky, and we got 3 quotes, and you'll see them there. If I can find them here now. We got 3 quotes. And the low one was Tennessee Lighting. That's $5,100 from them. They're $340 a piece. And what this will basically do, it'll change those old lights where we won't have to do the poles. The utility has checked the poles. The poles are good. The electric is going to the lights. The lights are just old. This will change all those lights to LED. So it'll make it look a lot better. And we need to get this done. The low quote is $5,100. What's the will of the council?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Bryant. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Evans. Councilman Bryant.
I think it's a good move to do. I think we need to do this. It's been overdue, and since it was overlooked, it's time to correct it.
Councilwoman Evans.
I agree.
Anyone else? Call a roll.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilman Bryant,
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans,
Yes.
Councilman Fuller,
Yes.
Councilman Holloway,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson,
Yes.
Mayor Miller.
Yes, and the ayes have it. Thank y'all. That'll really help make it look better up there. Next item is approval to hire a police officer. Interviews were conducted for opening on the police officer, and the recommendation of the committee is Greg Fisher to fill the opening for a law enforcement officer. What's the will of the council?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Fuller. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Evans. Councilman Fuller.
I know Steve, and they do a great job of selecting their officers, so with it, 100%.
Councilwoman Evans, you have anything?
No, I think we definitely, how many are we down now?
One more after this one.
Okay.
Anything further?
Mayor,
Council Holloway
the committee, that's Anderson and Mr. Bryant.
and Chief.
Chief, okay. Is it all 3 of us agree on this individual?
Yes.
Was that the recommendation from the committee?
All 3 of you?
Councilman Bryant?
Yes.
Chief? Mr. Anderson?
I'm passing on this one.
Okay. 2 of the 3, Councilman Anderson's gonna pass. Anything further? Call roll.
Councilman Anderson,
Pass.
Councilman Bryant,
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans,
Yes.
Councilman Fuller,
Yes.
Councilman Holloway,
Pass.
Councilwoman Wilson,
Yes.
Mayor Miller.
Yes, and the ayes have it. Next item is council comments. Councilman Bryant, do you have anything?
No. Oh, well, yes, I do. I'd like to wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving, a blessed Thanksgiving, and thank all of our city employees for the good job they do. And I appreciate everyone that's come out tonight, and I thank all of you. in this council as well.
Thank you. Councilwoman Wilson.
I just want to tell everybody happy Thanksgiving also, and once again, thank the kiddos for stepping up and getting interested in local government. Hopefully, y'all will be sitting here one day. That's it.
Councilman Fuller.
I'd like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Hope you get to spend some time with your family and friends.
Councilman Anderson.
I'd like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving.
Councilwoman Evans.
You know, I have. First of all, I want to say, I'm really proud of you young people. It doesn't always go this way, but congratulations. I hope you have a great time. And I'm always downtown if you want to ask a question, or if I can help you in any way, let me know. Now, next thing. Here we go, Ms. Ruby. I want to get qualifications for all of our, like, chief of police, fire chief, city administrator.
The job description.
Every
job description, everybody's job description.
I want the requirements.
That's part
Job
of it.
description
That's part of it.
with requirements
Okay.
for each position. Then I want the person that fills that position and what qualifications he brings to that position. Okay, that's it.
Okay. Councilman Holloway.
I'd just like to thank these young people for coming out, taking part of this. I hope y'all jump up there and fill our shoes real soon.
Right there, I said.
And proud of you, and all the best for all of you. I'd like to say happy Thanksgiving to all the employees and all the citizens of Rockwood. We've got a lot of things to be thankful for, and let's remember that this Thanksgiving. That's all.
I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. Appreciate your participation. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Christmas is coming up next month, and would you all rather meet the 20th before Christmas or at the regular time, the 27th, which is 2 days after Christmas? 20th, okay?
Yeah.
Meet before, okay? So we'll change the December meeting to the 20th. Okay? Okay. Just want to run that by you. Remember what she said about December the 18th? I'll be out of town, but that's when they're going to have the wreath thing at Oak Grove at 12 o'clock. I went last year. It is really, really good to see. You need to go and attend that. It's really good, really good. The lighting of the tree festival will be Saturday, December 4th from 5 to 8. We need to all try to attend that if we can. If we're not out of town, I know it's that time of year and everything, but we need to see if we can get to that too. I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. We do, as Councilman Holloway said, we do have a lot to be thankful for. We really do. And again, I want to thank all you all for stepping up and wanting to be active in your community in whatever way. I've done these meetings, I don't know, probably 20 years of it. And I've never had so many amendments to motions in my life. I've had a bunch of them, never this many in one night. So it's not always like that. But again, what y'all are doing, it's important, and you need to emphasize to your fellow classmates how important this is. Because it is truly, truly important. But again, happy Thanksgiving. Thank everybody for coming. Our employees are great. Our department heads are great. There's what makes this city go on. I want to end up with one other thing. David, you and Duke, I want to thank you all and the committee for everything you've done at our airport. I think the presentation tonight showed how much it's improved and where we are, and it's a tribute to you all and the committee that have served on it for all this time. And again, thank you all for being a lot smarter than me and not wanting to shut it to the ground because I was tired of it, but y'all have done a tremendous job, and I do again want to thank y'all for everything you've done on that, and thank all of our employees. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Hallway, do we have a second?
Second.